Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News First at 5. I'm Whitney Ward. Mark is on assignment. Well, we begin tonight with a winter weather advisory. We got our first little glimpse of some snow this morning, but we are expecting to see much more here over the next few days. So let's get to it with our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo, tracking quite a lot coming this way.
Yeah, it's a wild ride in terms of weather. We went from a pretty stagnant and cold weather pattern to flipping the script. By this time next week, we're talking about as different as it gets. 27 degrees with a little bit of cloud cover right now. That initial wave already went through, but that is not even close to what we are expecting in the days to come. Tomorrow we wake up to snow. I think a ½ inch to an inch here in Spokane. Let's just get that out of the way. But by the time we get through Saturday, we're talking about 2 to 4 inches in most low-lying areas, 1 to 2 feet over the mountain passes, 1 to 3 feet on many. So it is going to be a whopper of the next few days. Right now, things aren't looking too terribly bad. We've got a little bit of moisture streaming into the west side. A little taste of what is to come is what arrived a little bit earlier for us. And so what winds up happening is eventually we see more widespread snow move in. I think that arrives overnight. We'll see our first round start the day tomorrow. So it's a little bit. This is lighter snow that moves in and moves out before the sun comes up. ½ inch to an inch just about everywhere. So it's one of those ones where we already kind of know what we're going to get. And so that is the first round. Then we get another round kind of Friday, middle of the day. That takes us through just about the evening commute, and then it works its way out. Then Saturday, we wake up to another round of snow. So this is kind of coming in waves. And because of that, I think it has its biggest impacts on tomorrow's commute. Not much snow, but big impacts. Saturday, inches of snow in the mountains. We're talking feet of it.
All right, Jeremy, we'll get ready. Thank you. Even more money could be headed into Spokane's Trent homeless shelter. That's to keep it open during the coldest months of the year. Spokane's City Council is going to be voting next week to extend a contract for 4 months to the tune of $3.9 million. KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy is here to explain now. Shannon?
The council was briefed on this ask early this week. Many aren't happy with being asked to approve more funding, as the Salvation Army has gone over budget several times. With the question of who will run the Trent shelter next year still up in the air, Spokane City Council is now tasked with deciding whether to keep it running through winter.
The contract ends for both Revive and Salvation Army in the end of December 31st.
So effectively, we're deciding whether to continue operating track for 4 months or shut it down Jan 1. That's effectively our choice in front of us. Okay.
Next week, Council will have to vote whether to approve a contract extension with the Salvation Army through April.
The total contract increase is $3,930,000.
$3.2 million is to run the shelter for those 4 months, while $730,000 is to cover Salvation Army going over budget this year. Extra costs for sheltering 300 people a day included meals, laundry, and warming centers.
This is the only choice we have. The amount of money that's being requested is more than really we can truly afford.
Several council members expressed frustration about having to make this call in the 11th hour. In September, Mayor Nadine Woodward's administration put a pause on the process of awarding the 2024 contract. Many questioned the timing, since it looked like Jules Helping Hands was set to win that bid.
Well, what I can tell you is that it has nothing to do with the applicants themselves. It has everything to do with the ability to pay whatever chosen applicant occurred.
Brian Coddington says the issue was a lack of about $9 million in funding to pay whatever provider was chosen. Now, with the process still delayed and a new mayor taking over, Coddington says it makes more sense to wait.
A short-term extension of the contract gives them flexibility to have other options. As we understand it, as the mayor-elect has campaigned, she has other ideas about how she wants to do things, and so she would be able to bring forward different options for the council to consider.
Council has a tough choice come Monday. Pay millions while they go back to the drawing board for the long term, or leave hundreds out in the cold. Some council members said they are hesitant to approve this extension with no certainty Salvation Army won't go over budget again and ask for more funding. Michael Cathcart said there needs to be an audit system or on-site monitoring on how the money is spent. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Shannon, thank you. Testimony continued today in the trial for Richard Aguirre. He is accused of killing a woman in Spokane in 1986. KREM 2's Nathan Hyun was in the courtroom today. He is joining us now from the courthouse. Nathan?
Well, Whitney, testimony wrapped up just about 2 hours ago, and today the defense worked to poke some holes in some of the evidence found at the scene where Ruby Doss's body was found. Richard Aguirre is accused of killing Ruby Doss near the old Playfair track in Spokane in 1986. Court began with testimony from Detective James Lundgren.
To the best of your knowledge.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Lundgren was a detective for Spokane's Major Crimes Unit the year Doss was killed. During the investigation, Lundgren interviewed Robert Lee, who police say was a pimp and knew Doss at that time. Yesterday in court, the defense said Lee had motive to kill Doss. Today, the defense focused part of its questioning on footprints found at the scene. Prosecutors say they're Aguirre's, but the defense questioned if they could belong to somebody else.
Robert Lee's foot size was never measured, was it?
No.
Nor was his blood drawn.
No.
The second witness to take the stand was Carrie Kristen. Kristen is a retired member of the Spokane County Sheriff Forensic Unit. She photographed the crime scene.
Is this a photograph taken by you?
Yes.
Did you provide the measurements on this footprint?
Yes.
When asked about footprints found at the scene, she testified that because the footprints she photographed were on uneven ground and at different angles, it was difficult to take accurate and precise measurements.
You're not going to get an exact size because of the way the ruler is.
Kristen was shown 5 images of footprints with rulers next to them. She testified that because the images are distorted, the footprints cannot be accurately measured by the ruler in the picture. Now prosecutors are seeking a guilty verdict for either first or second-degree murder. Court is set to resume again on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Live in Spokane, Nathan Han, KREM 2 News.
New at 5 tonight, a federal judge just ruled that Montana cannot enforce a first-in-the-nation law banning the popular social media app Tik Tok. The legal challenge to that proposed law has been moving through the courts since May. Today, U.S. District Judge Donald Malloy said the ban oversteps state power and infringes on the constitutional right of users and businesses. The ban had been scheduled to take effect on January 1st. Happening now in less than an hour, the community of Medical Lake will gather for a candlelight vigil to remember the 11-year-old girl who was shot and killed over the weekend. Deputies believe her older brother pulled the trigger and then tried to take his own life. We are learning more about 11-year-old Lilia Stolworthy. She was the youngest of 4 adopted girls. Neighbors say the family was well known in the community.
It's really tragic. These are really good people, the Stolworthy family. They've raised a lot of children, a lot of good kids in the community, and so we all just feel really bad for them.
The Medical Lake community will honor Lily during a candlelight vigil tonight. It starts at 6 o'clock inside Wilcox Park, and anyone is welcome to attend.